It's Saturday from my hometown in Cleveland, Ohio. The center of the professional wrestling universe will be on WWE SummerSlam from Cleveland Brown Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. Not only that, but we also have Friday Night SmackDown the night before at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, various events at the Agora, Tower City, downtown, everything Cleveland, Ohio. I will be there. I cannot wait. I've been talking about this event since it was rumored probably last October, since it was officially announced right after WrestleMania 40. And today, on the penultimate season episode of Brandon's World, I will be previewing WWE SummerSlam 2024. On Tuesday, I'm going to tell you all about my experience being in a stadium show for this great sport, as Gunther, the challenger for the World Heavyweight Championship, would say. And then, of course, we're going to go on hiatus here with Brandon's World until we come back full-fledged football season. As always, my social media links are in the description below. We are in collaboration with the one, the only Voltage Live. Let's kick off this premium live event. Now, we're only going to be talking about the matches on this event. Of course, there will be a segment with, of course, the great Clevelander, The Miz, who's going to be hosting the event. Joey Roll will be performing Liar. Um, I can't wait to hear that as a country music enthusiast myself, but we're only going to be discussing the matches on this card. And this card is going to be very interested to see where things place, depending on time. We know WWE, ever since in the Triple H era, has sort of liked to construct their premium live events, the smaller ones to 3 hours, the major ones to maybe 4.5 hours. This one could be 4.5 to 5 hours, depending on how long they let some of these matches go. And again, it's going to be very interesting to see the order of this card because you could go either way with a lot of these, in my opinion. I'm going to start off with the rematch from Money in the Bank, that being Sami Zayn defending the Intercontinental Championship against the unpredictable badass Braun Breaker. Now, the story here is obviously Sami Zayn, after delivering the Haluva kick to Breaker at Money in the Bank, caught Braun Breaker by surprise. But ever since then, all Braun Breaker done is taken Ilya Dragunov out of action, speared Sami Zayn multiple times, and has dominated Sami Zayn at every twist and turn. I think if WWE wants to make Braun Breaker the next Brock Lesnar, have him be sort of this dominant champion and have a Gunther-esque run with the Intercontinental Championship, again, with the other 6 matches on this card potentially going along, there's only one other match on this card that I could see going a shorter length and distance. I think there is a possibility here that we do get a squash match where Braun just comes out and spears Sammy over and over again, just takes the championship in dominating fashion. Because we know Sami Zayn is the underdog from the underground. We've seen him overcome Gunther at WrestleMania 40. We win the Intercontinental Championship. Maybe the most shocking result of the entire WrestleMania weekend at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. Braun Breaker has already suffered defeat to Sami Zayn. He knows what Sami Zayn is capable of. Now he's going to go for the kill. Is there a chance that Sami Zayn attempts a Haluva kick, gets back in it as a fighting chance? For sure, but I think a spear and an overhead military press slam will give Braun Breaker the Intercontinental Championship on Monday nights. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be happy to see it. I think Sami Zayn is at a very good title reign. I think Breaker will have a good championship reign. I think there are guys on the roster, though. One of them comes to mind as Bronson Reed, who's a heel. He's not really a face. Ilya Dragunov obviously will get his chance against Braun Breaker. So there's a lot of guys in that mid card division with a chance here for the Intercontinental Championship. We know Chad Gable did not get the championship. We know he is now in the middle of feuding with Otis, Akira Tozawa, and obviously the Wyatt Six. Raw's mid card is very convoluted, but I think that they're going to be going for a new champion here in excuse me, in Braun Breaker. Up next, I'm gonna put the Women's Championship match, which of course is the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bayley, the champion, who of course took the championship from Io Sky on night 2 of WrestleMania 40. She takes on the Queen of the Ring winner, Nia Jax. Now, this has been building really ever since the WWE draft. If you remember on draft night, Nia was originally a Monday Night Raw superstar. She was drafted to Friday Night SmackDown and immediately targeted the women's champion. Now, I think Bayley's best match out of this whole title defense was the triple threat, her, Naomi, and Tiffy Time, Tiffany Stratton, who we'll get to in a little bit here. Had a backlash. I thought that was an amazing contest. She had a very good feud with Piper Niven, a good match at Clash of the Castle for that championship. But as I said, Nia attacked Bayley. This was sort of the inevitable here. Nia was going to win Queen of the Ring and get her shot. Now, the other interesting aspect of this match is Tiffany Stratton did win the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match that I did call. I did not get a lot of things right in Money in the Bank, but that was one of the things that I did predict would happen. And I am here to say that a lot of people think Tiffany Stratton may cash in her championship here on Bayley. I do think we get a cash in just like Io Sky did last year at SummerSlam, which means I think by the end of SummerSlam, the Money in the Bank briefcase holders will no longer have their contracts. I do think that we again get a cash in. I do think Tiffany Stratton is going to walk out the women's champion. However, I think Nia Jax will deliver an annihilator to Bayley. I think Nia Jax will end Bayley's championship reign. And while Nia is getting up from behind, Tiffany Stratton will attack Nia Jax with the briefcase, a la what Alexa Bliss did to Nia Jax at Money in the Bank 2018. A prettiest moonsault ever from Tiffany Stratton will give Tiffany Stratton the new women's championship. And again, we will eventually see down the line here Tiffy, Nia, Bayley in a triple threat match. Tiffany Stratton is younger than me. And again, I am, 20 I am 20, I'm gonna be 26 years old here within the next month. Tiffany Stratton has only been in the business for what 2 or 3 years. She's 21, 22 years old. Yet she's already shown her maturity, her awareness in and outside of the ring. She's getting over with the crowd, and Tiffy Time is ready to explode here. And in my opinion, there's a lot more babyface wrestlers on the SmackDown roster than there are heels for Bayley to feud with for the championship. I think Tiffy Time is about to take off like a rocket, and in a shock here, not Bayley, not Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton will walk out the women's champion. This feud has been building for a year. LA Knight, the challenger, yeah, taking on the champion Logan Paul, whoever since winning the United States Championship at Crown Jewel back in November against Rey Mysterio, has only defended the championship twice. Kevin Owens at the Royal Rumble, then the triple threat between Kevin Owens and Randy Orton at WrestleMania 40. And LA Knight has been calling out Logan Paul for over a year, even dating back to last year's Money in the Bank ladder match. LA Knight has been on a historic rise where last year at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view in London, his popularity arguably had never been popular. He went on to win the Slim Jim Battle Royal at SummerSlam. He would go on to obviously feud with Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel. At the same event, Logan Paul would win the U.S. title. LA Knight would face Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Championship before being involved in a fatal four-way with AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns at the Rumble before continuing his feud with AJ Styles into WrestleMania 40. And ever since that feud has ended, he has focused on Logan Paul. And again, LA Knight at this sort of meteoric rise where he went from the leader of a max male model to nearly getting cut in the Vince McMahon administration to being one of the most popular wrestlers on the WWE roster to finally getting his shot, I believe, to hold a championship. Now, will there be interference from either Logan Paul's entourage, Austin Theory, Grayson Waller? Potentially, there could be. But I think in the end, LA Knight will do whatever it takes. A BFT or two will give him the United States Championship, and Cleveland, Ohio will all be screaming, yeah, as the vindication from LA Knight during the past year has finally been realized. Then we'll get to a personal feud. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre. The special guest official in this match is Seth Rollins. And per Seth Rollins referee instructions this past Monday night on Raw, the only rule in this match is to obey the architect. Now, we know the story behind this. CM Punk, who was obviously left WWE 10 years ago, went to AEW, had the controversial all out, brawl out incident, if you will, came back to WWE after almost a decade away in his hometown of Chicago at Survivor Series 2023, kicking off this feud with not only Rollins, but with Drew McIntyre. Then, in the process, where it looks like CM Punk was going to get his WrestleMania moment at WrestleMania 40, a World Heavyweight Championship match against Seth Rollins, he tears his triceps in the Royal Rumble via Drew McIntyre, who was jealous of CM Punk, says CM Punk is a cancer, says CM Punk is going to blow up the locker room. And these two have been going back at it, personal shots ever since. CM Punk costing Drew McIntyre the World Heavyweight Championship after he defeated Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 40. Then he cost Drew the World Championship at Clash of the Castle. Then he cost him the World Championship at Money in the Bank after he cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase. Oh, and by the way, the Clash of the Castle match was in Drew McIntyre's hometown. Drew McIntyre then bloodies up CM Punk in front of CM Punk's hometown fans of Chicago. He takes the bracelet that has the name of his dog, Larry, as well as his wife, AJ Lee. And this is going to be an incredible physical bout. Where again, by the admission of the architect, who said there is nobody in the world outside of CM Punk that hates Drew McIntyre more than Seth Rollins, but he told Drew McIntyre there's nobody in the world that hates CM Punk outside of Drew McIntyre more than Seth Rollins. Again, I don't know if this is going to lead to a Seth Drew CM Punk triple threat down the line. I don't know if it's going to lead to a triple threat Hell in a Cell at the Bad Blood Premium Live event in October in Atlanta. I have no idea what's going to happen. The only thing I know is this is going to be a brawl. And no, I don't expect AJ Lee to show up, but this will be no weapons. This will be a street fight. This will be a fight. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre will provoke the bear. Seth Rollins will deliver a curb stomp to both competitors. And in the end, I think Seth Rollins may just walk out because I have no idea how, unless another official comes down to the ring, you're going to justify Seth Rollins calling a 1-2-3 or a submission for Punk or McIntyre. So I think the story here may be that Seth Rollins, as the official, curb stomps both Punk and McIntyre when he's had enough of their shenanigans after, a 20 to 25 minute brawl. He walks out. Punk and McIntyre continue fighting, and Adam Pearce has to come out and announce that the match is a no contest. And that's the way I see this match ending. And it's going to be an epic fight throughout Cleveland Browns Stadium. Then we get the personal feud that has been happening during the past 2 years, really. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan for Liv Morgan's Women's World Championship. And this story really picked up the night after WrestleMania 40 while Rhea Ripley was going to the ring. She was attacked by Liv Morgan, and obviously Ripley had just defended the Women's World Championship against Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 40. During that attack, Rhea Ripley suffered a legitimate shoulder injury. She had to vacate the championship. Becky Lynch would win a battle royal to win the women's championship. But then at the night of at the King and Queen of the Ring Premium Live event, in May in Saudi Arabia, due to interference from Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan would defeat Becky Lynch to become the new champion. The Monday after that King and Queen Premium Live event, in a steel cage match, Dominic Mysterio would again screw Becky Lynch by his head getting it into a steel cage, which caused Liv Morgan to escape out of the cage, retain the championship, and then Liv Morgan would do the unthinkable. She would make the kiss art around the world, putting Dominic Mysterio right on her lips, kicking off this summer storyline where Dom has obviously been trying to get away from Liv. And then obviously the night after the Money in the Bank Premium Live event where it was Dom and Liv teaming up in a mixed tag team match against Zelina Vega and Rey Mysterio after Dominic Mysterio finally pinned his deadbeat dad. It looked like Dom and Liv were about to kiss in the middle of the ring, and out comes "This is my brutality." And here we are now. Dominic Mysterio has confessed his love to Rhea Ripley. He says he's not going to be involved with Liv Morgan. Now, there's a lot of thoughts here that Dom could turn heel. He could join Liv Morgan, and Rhea Ripley's going to be out for revenge on both of them. I do not think that is going to be the case. I think the direction WWE is going here, similar to the bloodline breakup of Jey Uso and Sami Zayn and Jimmy against Roman Reigns. I think we're going to get the original Judgment Day of Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley on one side. And on the other side, we're going to get Liv Morgan and Finn Balor, not Dominic Mysterio, because Finn Balor, as we saw, took the room key, the hotel key of Liv Morgan. He has not been damaged by Liv Morgan in this entire process. And remember, Finn and Liv were fighting alongside AJ Styles against Edge, Priest, and Ripley in the original Judgment Day before Finn Balor joined the group. So I think, again, we will get not really a turn from Dominic here. I think Dom will accidentally cost Rhea Ripley the match. This feud will continue, but at the end of the day, Dom will not join Liv. It will be revealed that Finn Balor is the mastermind behind Liv Morgan eventually, all along. Speaking of Judgment Day drama, the World Champion Damian Priest has somehow organically, in my opinion, turned face going up here against Gunther for the World Championship, who, of course, is the winner of the King of the Ring. Now, there's a lot of thoughts here that Damian Priest could retain the World Championship. I thought going in after King of the Ring, it was a foregone conclusion that Gunther was going to walk out of SummerSlam the World Champion. I no longer feel that way. They built up Damian Priest as this resilient, prideful champion. Gunther calling him, essentially street trash on the streets of New York City, and Priest is fighting for his pride here. But in my opinion, if Damian Priest is going to retain the World Championship, and we have obviously Bash in Berlin coming up at the end of August in Germany, and that is where you want to give Gunther his World Championship win, I think there's going to be some Judgment Day shenanigans, which again goes back to where do they place Rhea and Liv on the card? Where do they place Priest and Gunther on the card? Because there's only been 3 people in WWE that have pinned Gunther. Ilya Dragunov in NXT UK, Braun Breaker on a random episode of NXT 2.0, and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania 40. That's it. And so I don't think Gunther is going to take a clean loss here at SummerSlam. Again, if anything, it could be a DQ or a countout if they want Priest to retain the championship. But I think if you want the full Judgment Day descent here, not only does Rhea Ripley lose in her quest to regain her championship from Liv Morgan, but Gunther brings prestige back to this sport. He walks in at Bash in Berlin as champion, whether he does it with his power bomb, whether he does it with the last sympathy, whether he does it with a sleeper hold, whether he does it with a clothesline. I think no matter what, there will be Judgment Day interference, but the ring general will walk out of SummerSlam, will walk out of Cleveland, your new world heavyweight champion. And finally, let's talk about the main event. Obviously, Cody Rhodes, Solo Sikoa for the Undisputed Championship. Now, we know there's going to be bloodline interference from the new bloodline, Tama Tonga, Loa, Jacob Fatu. We know how dangerous these guys are. Corey Graves and Wade Barrett have made a point, on the SummerSlam kickoff that these guys, unlike the original bloodline, don't have a pulse. But at the end of the day, we know where this is going. This is going to be return of the head of the table, the tribal chief, the undisputed WWE Universe Champion Roman Reigns. And a lot like my concern with Bayley winning the Women's Championship from Io Sky, which again was the right decision at WrestleMania 40, my worry for not only Bayley but Cody Rhodes on the SmackDown brands were where do you go next? And Cody Rhodes had a random match with Logan Paul He had a feud with AJ Styles, which featured a very good I Quit match at Clash of the Castle. But, ever since then, he's been sort of teaming with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens against this new bloodline. Cody obviously thought his bloodline fighting days were over. Not so fast. Now, there is a train of thought here when it comes to Roman Reigns' return. Does he return during the match? And if he does return, I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a ref bump. Cody Rhodes is going to hit a crossroads. Solo's going to be coming to his feet, and out comes the music of the head of the table. Roman Reigns is going to stare down Cody Rhodes. Everybody thinks Roman is going to attack Cody, but instead he sidesteps Cody, spears Solo Sikoa, costs Sikoa the match. Cody Rhodes retains the championship. Now, there is another level to this because I don't think Roman Reigns is coming back as a pure babyface. I think he's going to get a babyface reaction, but Roman is not going to forget what Cody Rhodes did to him. And so, with that in mind, I also think there's a possibility that the final boss, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, shows up because he has reportedly been done filming his movie. And I think there is a scenario where at the end of SummerSlam, we have Roman with the champion Cody going face to face. And if you smell music hits and Rock, Roman, Cody stare down to end SummerSlam. And you could even get The Rock delivering a rock bottom to not only Cody Rhodes, but to Roman Reigns, setting up the storyline for the fall with the old bloodline versus the new bloodline. And we eventually get to Cody Rock as well as Roman and Rock. I've seen some scenarios out there that, Solo could win the Undisputed Championship, but I don't think Roman and Solo are going to feud over the championship. I don't think it's needed. Could Cody Rhodes move on to Randy Orton or some other title feud? Absolutely. But this is going to be the main story on the Blue Brand during the fall. The bloodline drama between Roman, Jay, who's going to find his way back to SmackDown somehow, maybe even Sami Zayn, which is why I think he will lose the Intercontinental Championship to Braun Breaker as we get the old bloodline versus the new bloodline Survivor Series War Games. So to recap, I do have Braun Breaker winning the Intercontinental Championship from Sami Zayn. I have Nia Jax winning the Women's World Championship from Bayley, but Tiffany Stratton will cash in on Nia Jax. She will walk out the Women's Champion. LA Knight will win the United States Championship from Logan Paul. There will be no winner in the CM Punk Drew McIntyre contest as Seth Rollins curb stomps both competitors. Then he walks out of the ring. They will keep fighting. Adam Pearce will have to call off the match. Liv Morgan will retain the Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley, while Gunther will win the World Championship from Damian Priest. Cody Rhodes will retain the Undisputed Championship against Solo Sikoa, but thanks to interference from the returning Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, where at the end of the show, the final boss will make an appearance. So again, I hope you enjoyed today's Brand's World. I hope you enjoyed this preview of WWE SummerSlam. I will recap everything on Tuesday. Have a great weekend. Enjoy this entire great weekend of wrestling. Second biggest show of the year. I cannot wait. Again, my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. We'll see you there. I'll talk to you Tuesday. And like that clip from the Brand's World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brand's World podcast right here on YouTube.